and welcome to MGP395. I'm Kev, and with me as ever, there's Sheepdog, Anna, and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Is there only two of you here?
Hello?
Anna's playing Fall Guys. Is she just
No,
gone?
I said hello.
Anna,
Hello.
you going to say hello?
Yes.
You didn't before.
Well, I did, because someone said hello, and it sounded like they had a mouthful of sweets.
Peas.
That's just Sheepdog's accent.
Well, I said it straight after him.
He always sounds like he's got a mouthful of gravel.
I see.
It's true. Sometimes it is.
Is it? Okay. But I did say hello.
Oh, hello to you too. What a strange way to start a podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
You bunch of weirdos.
You're a bunch of weirdos.
How are we all on this glorious PlayStation 5 announcement week? Are we all
my
suitably?
God.
Are we all suitably tired and drained from trying to pre-order and not being able to, and generally getting
Yes,
stressed
I
out
don't
about
have
it?
one. I don't have a pre-order at the moment. I'm not happy about it.
I'm not entirely sure how you managed to not get one.
Because I have tried. I have got. So I did. Not O2. Why am I thinking? I did Shop 2, and I confirmed my pre-order.
But why didn't you just
I
go
don't-
through one of the
I
places
don't-
that was announced as stocking them?
Because why would I go to somewhere where?
Because it literally, all you had to do on was it Wednesday night? It was launched. The pre-orders opened, and if you just typed PlayStation 5 pre-order into the internet, it
Does
said
matter? Yeah,
the
but
only places currently
but the thing
stocking them:
is,
Amazon
Kevin,
and Smiths.
I didn't. Because I just didn't. I didn't see that. I didn't know that was happening. I just went to where I normally go and purchase my things. And so I might have a pre-order. I don't know if I do at the moment.
See, this is the world punishing you for not watching my stream, because we were talking about this on my stream.
Do you know I wasn't watching your stream? Because I was giving my child... Oh no, I wasn't. What was I doing?
You were trying to find a
wasn't
PlayStation.
Yeah, see? Or I went to bed or something. But then I tried Argos at 5 to 6 this morning. They've took my money's gone out to Argos, pending. Do I have a confirmation? No. But it was there, and it was in my basket, and my bank was going, are you sure this is you? This is unusual activity. Of course it's me. I buy games all the time. But they just messed me over. So now I have a £449 pending on my account, which could be there for 5 days. Thank God it's not the end of the month, because I would not be happy because of things and bills. And I'm just a bit stressed. But the thing is, I don't need one, because everything that I want to play comes out on the PlayStation 4. Anyway, I have a PlayStation 4. It works perfectly fine, except the fan is very loud. But I don't know why. I don't.
You do sound like someone who's really calm and chilled and not bothered about not getting one.
I don't need one to play games, because there's no games coming out that I want to play that I can't play on the PlayStation 4. I just want one.
Do you need Kev to tell you you're not loud or something, just so you can go, okay, Kev? And,
Kevin,
do you know what I mean?
If Kevin said...
our relationship works that way.
Well, no, I
Sheepdog.
know. I saw the adverts for the games, thought, cool, Final Fantasy, Spider-Man, brilliant, lots of cool stuff there. I'm not allowed to get one for at least 6 months, so I won't even bother looking at pre-orders. I was just like, I know my place, not happening. But can't Anna pretend that you have that kind of situation, and it might make her feel better? No,
because the thing is, I don't go out drinking, I don't smoke, I don't do
Just
anything.
the speech memorised.
I don't do anything except
So's
have
everyone else.
games of a hobby, and that's all I have. And I can't have that, be told to me that I can't have it, because then I want it more.
Yeah.
I can't live like that. But the thing is, like Spider-Man, I can play on PlayStation. The new one, I can play on PlayStation 4. It just won't look as pretty, because a press release came out afterwards that I can play that game on my PlayStation 4. I don't need a PlayStation 5 to play the games I want, because it was only. I know, literally coming up, I want to play Legion, Watch Dogs, the new Assassin's Creed, and Cyberpunk. That's all I want to play. Huh. I have no interest in Demon Souls or whatever, because I don't care for them games. They're the 3 games I want to play between now and Christmas. I don't think there's anything else that I would want to play that is not available on the console I have. And then they're big games. Like Assassin's Creed Odyssey took me like 200 hours to get through. Like I put a lot of time in Assassin's Creed, and now I'm like, I want an Assassin's Creed game. And now this apparently is like Odyssey but better, and you get cats. You can have cats with you.
Ooh.
Like, you can go in
Cats.
so you're in Britain. You can go in
How are
down
we
your
talking about games already? How has this happened?
No, but you can go in your canoe around the rivers and have a cat with you. That's excellent. I want a cat.
Kev had a cat with him for years, and he didn't.
Yeah, but he
care
wasn't
for
my
it.
cat.
You never canoe though.
Yeah, and he didn't have a
You're
canoe.
right. Maybe you'd have got on better with a canoe.
But yeah. So if I don't get one, I don't get one. I'll just get one at some point. But I would like one on launch day.
Well, it's fine, Anna, because you probably will have one for launch day. Let's be honest with you,
I'll try.
because you know full well that you've got a backup.
I do have a backup. It's always.
Because Pab's part of the problem.
I'm not part of the problem.
You are.
I'm
You
You
are.
right too? Is that what I came into at the start
Yes.
before the show? Pab, what is wrong with you?
What is wrong with
When
it?
I came on, you were being all sheepish and talking about something, and I was too busy setting up. I did not realise you'd bought two. You bloody.
I've got one of each. All right, and there was never an
Digital and
intention.
which-
Which makes it okay.
Yeah, it does, because that's the order it went up in. I did the same as Anna. I was like, shop 2 is where I'm going, because shop 2, like, I don't know why they seem to deliver things early, and I was like, right, we're doing shop 2. Shop 2's website was just not in.
Oh, yeah, you
just
couldn't
didn't want
get
to
on
know.
there.
Just didn't want to know. So I checked all morning on Twitter, and then Amazon went up. Amazon's the full PlayStation 5 version is up for pre-order. I went, well, I went on it, and it was there to pre-order. Well, it wasn't sold out, so I went, okay. It seems stupid not to me to press this button and pre-order it. Why would I not? Because I don't know when the digital one is there. If they're even going to put the digital one up for pre-order on Amazon, or if they've already done it, I've missed it. So I did it, and then about half an hour later on, they put the digital one up as well, and I got that one as well because that's the one I actually wanted. So now I do have two.
Could have bought 4 and sorted us all out, Pab, as a gift. 400 episodes.
I'm sure if I
Like I say-
cannot get one,
Like I say, yes,
there is one.
But then again, like I said, Amazon in America is just cancelling orders left and right, and practically everyone that I follow from America, podcasters or whatever, like I've seen probably about half a dozen people that I listen to podcasts from with this Amazon cancellation. So it's just a wait and see now whether they do the same over here or whether they're a bit more legit. I don't know.
I need Love Film to go bust again so I can get one. That's my aim. They need to just send me another 4,000 games, even though they've been gone for 10 years.
Yeah.
I think that's probably unlikely.
I wonder how many listeners we still have that benefited from that insane month. Like,
I imagine most people listening have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was so long ago, and I'm brief, when Love Film shut down, I asked them what they were doing with their games. They sent me tons of them. Kev and I sat in his kitchen, sorted them out, put them in envelopes and posted them off to listeners. But we somehow ended up making enough money to buy the new consoles because Bouncy opened a shop, didn't he? That was it. Bouncy
So we
opened a
sold a
shop.
load of them to Bouncy.
And he bought half the stock off of us.
Wow.
And then loads of people sent us postage money. So this weird act of generosity ended up being massively ludicrous. That's not the word I wanted. Lucrative, yes. And all I did was send an email when they announced they were shutting down. They were like, we're shutting down, send your discs back. And I sent them an email going, why? What are you doing with them? Can I have them? They basically said, yeah, come over. We're only down the road from where you
And
work.
this was like 6,000 or 7,000 games.
Yeah.
It was absolutely ridiculous.
Where were all the films then?
I guess someone else asked for
Well, I
them.
didn't ask about that. Yeah, I don't do a film podcast, Anna.
No, I was just wondering because they did DVD. So where did they all go? Like, I hope they didn't just go to landfill or something.
Movie Sheepdog on a different podcast has got them, I should think.
It's such a weird thing. 'Cause I remember me and Kev just going in thinking, are they going to give us like a small pile of 4 or something each?
Because they brought us to the warehouse. The warehouse was in Peterborough. So they brought us down to the warehouse, took us both into this Love Film warehouse and said, here's the boxes, hope you can carry it all. And it was like these massive crates of games.
Oh, I remember. I was at home. I was here.
Yeah,
well, I'm not explaining it to you, Anna. I remember you being here. I'm telling the listener.
But I remember looking at the boxes and thinking, I have no comprehension of how many games are in that. Just looking at a box, that could be could be a couple of 100. And then when we went through them in the kitchen, it was just thousands.
And the most fun part of the whole thing was me cracking open Microsoft Access and setting up a really cool database with an entry form for Anna to fill in while we went through the games.
That was good.
And it was a proper logging system.
We
That was the
like
best
Tomb
evening of my
Raider.
life.
We're like Tomb Raider, and you're like, oh, Pab 1986, yep, stick that in that pile. Oh, Assassin's Creed, or Anna, put it over here. And we were just filtering everything. It was fantastic. But I need that to happen again, basically. That's the only way I'm getting a PS5 anytime soon, is if I might have to buy a newspaper for the first time in God knows how long. Because I didn't even buy newspapers then. I don't even know how I saw the advert. But I did. So I'm just thinking I need to just start looking, and hopefully the universe is out there watching me thinking, right, I'm going to just stick this little thing in motion and Sheepdog is going to bite, and then boom, here we go again.
Well, stop frittering all your money up the wall on booze and buy one out of your salary like a normal human.
Well, maybe I'll flog some stuff. Work might pick up again.
I love the way he's just disregarding the idea of not buying alcohol to pay for it.
I put my beer down. Is that enough for you? Now, the only reason I'm not allowed is because I said to you last week, my parents keep changing their mind about where they're living, and they announced they weren't moving where we were, so we thought they were going to go back to paying for my garage to be converted like they promised. But since then, they've decided they are going to move around here, and that's the only outcome that doesn't get me a garage, because I get the win of them living near me. And I'm like, I'm really pleased they're living near me, but I wanted that garage, and now I've got to pay for it myself. So Mrs. Sheepdog's fixated on any money we've got needs to go into the pile of money to pay for that. And I keep saying, but I need a
All
PC.
I'm hearing is Sheepdog's piling money up in his garage if anyone wants to go and rob him.
Yeah. But no, every time I'm like, I need a PC, I need a PS5, she's like, you don't need them though, do you? And I keep trying to say to her, if I got a PC, I could use that PC to make loads of videos that I could have loads of adverts on that could make the money back for a garage. She doesn't believe in me. She doesn't think I can. She's probably right, to be fair, but she's just kind of like, that will take forever. You'll end up spending that money without... I will end up doing a Kev and just spending all the money on keyboards, mouses, extra computers, and she'll never see any of it. She knows me by now, so yeah, I've just promised her I've got to get 2 Love Films, one for the garage and one for PS5s.
Oh, we'll see what we can do. We'll try and we've all got our fingers crossed that a company will go out of business and people will lose their jobs for you, Sheepdog.
So they can just send all their stock to me.
Yeah, exactly. So to summarise, I haven't even tried to order one because I mean, there's no reason for me to get one. I have a PS4 Pro that I bought earlier in the year to play The Last of Us 2 on, and I finished that now. So until there's another game that forces me to play on a console, I'm like the reverse of the Kev that did all that database logging all those years ago, back when I used to crunch ice cream cones at the mere mention of a PC. Whereas now, unless there's a damn good reason for me to get a PlayStation, I just can't think of any reason to. So I'm not bothered about getting one. Anna hasn't got one, and Pab's the problem and has got 2. There's your summary, boys and girls.
I just get left out.
Yeah,
Do you want one though?
Sheepdog's got a beer instead to make him feel better.
I want one because my PlayStation's ancient and can barely play any of the new games. So I had loading times galore during Last of Us. It was ridiculous to just be sat there watching the boat rock about. I can't be doing with that on every game I ever get. Part of me's got a little bit of a plan in the back of my mind. Like I said before the show, that I realised I could have stuck all of my bloody games online for sale the moment I'd completed them, and I'd have got pretty much close to the value I paid for them on. So if I start selling them once I complete them, I was thinking, once I've completed all the games I've got, I could just put my PS4 up for sale as well. And then I know that's not going to get me loads, and everyone's going to have the same idea, and this is the time to start buying PS4s. But if I just shill it and get rid of everything else, and don't tell my wife.
They're not going to go back up in value again at any point, Sheepdog. It's absolutely not the time to start buying PS4s. No one wants them anymore.
Well, no, I meant time to start selling them, I said. Now's the time everyone's selling them is what I meant, sorry. Everyone's flogging them now, so they're only going to go down in value quicker and quicker is what I was saying, sorry. You're right, they're not going to come back up until they're retro consoles that no one knows where they are anymore.
And because it's modern tech, they won't work in 30 years the way the old retro stuff did.
But, yeah, long story short, I'm just thinking if I flog them all but don't tell Mrs. Sheepdog I have done that, I might be able to get, like, 2/3 of the way there, and then
it sounds to me like Sony have caused you a real problem by making the console look so obnoxious, so you can't just swap them out and say and have her never notice. If it was just a black box the way consoles are supposed to be, you could have just got one when she weren't looking, swap them over. She's none the wiser.
You've given me two ideas there, though. I've got so every bit of furniture in our room now, other than the bed, is white, so it matches the furniture. But also, I've got a telescope that basically looks a bit like it. Maybe it's white either side and black in the middle. So I'm just thinking, if I just start moving that around the room, and then one day I just swap them round, she would have been so used to it being there, she won't acknowledge it. Could work.
I mean, it sounds guaranteed to work. You should start moving that telescope around this evening. Go and move it now. You'll be fine.
I'm going to take a picture of it and tweet it to you just so you can see what I mean. It's at a bad angle, though.
I'm excited. I look forward to the photograph. It's a shame that this is audio only, or we could share that picture of everybody.
Well, I could tweet it at everybody.
Tweet it at just go onto Twitter at everyone. I think that's how Twitter works.
This is a bad angle, but you'll see what I mean. It's white.
Every
on the other
picture you ever send me is prefaced with "This is a bad angle."
Right, don't all go look for it now. We're doing a podcast, people.
I thought you were actually tweeting it. You DM'd it. No one can see this. That does look like a PlayStation, though.
It does, doesn't it?
Right. That needs sharing out to everybody. The MG UK podcast Twitter will be tweeting that just after this podcast goes out. That's Sheepdog's responsibility. Tweet the telescope. And then people can reply to that tweet and tell us why the telescope was tweeted. So, PlayStation launch shenanigans aside, have we all had a delightful week?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm basically on the weird hard mode this week and next. I'm doing two people's jobs. Mrs. Sheepdog's away for the weekend, so I'm also doing parenting twice. And she's absolutely dropped a nuke on me, scaring the heck out of me by telling me she woke up at about 4 a.m. this morning, looked over across the room, and I'm guessing she was asleep and this was all a dream, but she saw a person standing over me, just waving their arms above me, doing something to me while I was asleep. And she was so scared she just lay there silently watching it happen.
All I wanted to know was whether you'd ordered a PlayStation, because they were going on sale at Argos.
Well, she told me this, and now I keep hearing noises, and I'm freaking out that there's some weird woman in the house.
Oh, it was a woman, was it? Oh, that's no fun.
Well, you were worried about the axe murder in your garden that time.
I'm still worried about her.
But I've got to sleep on my own tonight, and if I wake up, if I've told my daughter this story, and if she's got any banter, she's going to come in and stand on a desk, step over me in the night and just wake me up, and I'm going to step out.
Or if she's anything like any normal kid in the world, she's never going to sleep again.
Well, yeah, she's 11. I can tell her horror stories. No. She did pull a face a bit like, what?
My word, Sheepdog. You've already failed the first step of parenting on your own. She's not going to sleep ever again.
She'll be all right. She'll be all right.
She'll be all right. I'll just lock her bedroom door.
All of her friends say she's really good at telling horror stories. So I think she likes a good horror story. If she just comes in to tell me she needs a drink, I'm going to die. Basically, if I see any long-haired people over the next 3 days in my room, I'm just going to scream and jump out the window.
I might have to break my no entering Sheepdog's house policy.
You haven't got long enough hair.
I can wear one of my wigs.
God, that would kill me if you stumbled up the stairs in a wig and stood in the bed. I don't know. I'd just throw everything. I'd be screaming. It'd be horrific.
And I win a telescope. Hurrah!
You can tell Anna it's a PS5.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, everything's connecting. We're sorted now. There you go, Anna. I've got you covered. So, I suppose we should talk about some video games then. Not just the ones that haven't come out yet, that we haven't played yet. I've actually played something this week I'd never played before, which is remarkable for me. I have. I mean, it's Among Us. It's 2 years old, but because,
It's 2 years old?
Us cool Twitch streamer folks, you know what I'm talking about, Pab. Us cool Twitch streamer folks, I just follow the herd, and the herd is playing Among Us at the moment. So I've spent the last couple of nights playing it.
It's just become a massive meme everywhere because they brought it out on Steam apparently recently, or updated it on Steam. It's been on iOS for years and phones, but in the past week, it's just been everywhere on Reddit, everywhere on Twitter. Pab 1986 was not the imposter, and just I don't really get why it happened. Someone just created a good picture that was quite funny and fit a couple of things. And probably the developers, they probably created the meme and put it out there. And this game's seen a massive resurgence now, hasn't it?
It is incredible fun. That's the huge advantage of it.
I was playing it even before we recorded today.
Oh, there you go. For anybody who's not played it, which, I mean, how have you... I can understand people not having played it, but you must have seen it somewhere by now. It's so out there that the whole Football Manager creator community have been playing it. And we don't follow many trends. This is, this is like the second one we've ever caught onto. So if it's hit us, it's hit everyone. But it's basically Space Cluedo. You've got 10 people on a spaceship, and you basically just sort of go around doing menial tasks to keep the spaceship up and running. But as the game starts, 2 of those 10 people are secretly told that they're an imposter, and their goal is to kill everyone, basically, ruin everything, go around killing folk, making the ship fail and failing all the tasks. And every time a body gets found, or you have a meeting of all of the 10 people and have to try and work out who the imposter is. And if the goodies find the baddies, the goodies win. If the baddies aren't found or they kill everyone, the baddies win. And the game itself is nothing special. What makes it special is the meetings and the arguments and the accusations and the shouting at each other that is caused by having to just be constantly accusing other people and trying to work out what everyone else is up to. And it's so much fun that I've been up until God midnight the last couple of nights streamed. I never stream for longer than 3 hours. I was streaming for nearly 6 hours on Wednesday night. I stopped.
Do you tweet
midnight.
about these streams? Because
yes, Sheepdog.
I looked the other day. I had some time on my own, and I thought I want to watch people playing Among Us. And I went on bloody YouTube, and I ended up watching PewDiePie play it with a load of people. And
I mean, what kind of caveman goes on YouTube looking for people playing a game like this?
And I enjoyed his stream immensely. Came off of YouTube and saw, Kev's been playing it with his buddies as well. Didn't get an invite. And
you don't make Football Manager videos, Sheepdog.
But when have you done it again since? Because I was
last night.
God,
yeah, the last 2 nights. I'm about 10 hours deep into this game now.
Yeah, I've played it a lot. I was playing it last weekend in the week, and again tonight, as I say. I've not been the imposter once.
I went through my entire first night of playing, good 4 or 5 hours. I was only the imposter one time, and killed someone after 4 seconds, and was immediately found out because I couldn't lie. So I went away and studied for 24 hours. And last night, first couple of hours again, wasn't the imposter at all. But then it just hit a spell where I was the imposter 3 rounds in a row, and from then on I seemed to fall into the normal rotation. So I don't know if there's something coded into the game that is about easing newer players in, because when we were playing, the guys who'd played it before were the ones who kept becoming the imposter, and the newer people were the ones who weren't getting to be the imposter. But I'm now getting it much more regularly in my rotation now I've played more of it. So I wonder if they've got something in there just, I guess, keep it interesting by not having someone bumbling around with no idea what's going on as the imposter.
I've had some really frustrating situations where, Like most of the time, I either get murdered, like in the middle or something. I had about 6 in a row where I got murdered first. I was like, for goodness sake, like have I just got? They see sheep and they just think, ooh. But I was playing it and I literally just went about doing tasks, and I thought to myself, that guy doesn't seem to actually be doing tasks. He just seems to be loitering and not doing anything. And then someone was dead, and straight away he went, it's Sheepdog. And I thought, I'm pretty sure it's you. So I'm trying to type on my phone. I'm pretty sure it's probably the yellow one. Before I'd even had a chance to finish the sentence, everyone had voted me out and I was airlocked. I was like, for goodness sake. And that seems to be the case, that the people who... I'm finding anyone who finds a body is probably the one who killed them. Because that's a weird trend I keep seeing, that someone will kill someone and instantly report them. And anyone who says it's someone else at random is definitely the person, especially if they're picking you and you know you're not the person. But it is frustrating.
So are you playing with randoms or with a group of people or what?
With randoms. Do you know what? You're saying about anyone and everyone have heard of this at this point. I asked my group of mates from back in Essex last week if any of them had heard about it and didn't get an answer to my question. The conversation was quiet for like 4 hours and then somebody said something else and I just got ignored. So I brought it up again a couple of days later thinking maybe they just missed the message. The exact same thing happened. The conversation that had been lively just died and then it all went off. And then today one of them randomly sent me a meme and said, this is that game you keep telling us about. This looks pretty good. I'm like, you son of a... So I'm hoping I'll get to play with them on a proper... set up a server thing and we'll go in there. But yeah, I've literally just been dropping into random games and everyone in there seems to be a stranger. I think you can tell when people tend to know each other because they start defending each other. I got really frustrated with this woman who kept saying, I think it's so-and-so, I think it's so-and-so, and getting people voted out. So it made me really think it was her. And it turned out she was just an idiot. And it was the person I originally thought it was all along, but she just constantly kept blaming random people and really putting a target on her back. I think she got airlocked and it wasn't her. And I was like, oh, you are so dumb. But it's interesting seeing certain people's approaches. Like, I'm just going to make everyone go nuts, even though I'm not the imposter. I just tend to keep quiet unless I see something, really.
I tried keeping quiet when I was the imposter and they just leapt on me. So I now have a tactic where I try and make them think I'm the imposter every round, even when I'm not. So that way when I am, they don't know when I am. So I'm getting better at being the imposter. I had a few beautiful moves. The most spectacular play in Among Us history was my first victory as the imposter, where I set off the reactor and then ran to it and was there with my hand on the pressure pad, watching the timer tick down. And then as the timer hit 0, I just took my hand off and the ship blew up because they all thought, Kev's dealing with it. And, it was a beautiful thing. But yeah, I just think it's an awesome game.
I got killed because someone kept setting the reactor off and I kept going back to turn it off. And because it was always Sheepdog standing at the bottom, I just instinctively went for the bottom one 3 times in a row. And then they were like, he's always in there. He's always standing with his hand at that button when it goes off. And someone else comes in and they all airlocked me again. And it was like... I was just near to it. My task was in the bloody room next door, so I kept running across. I should have been looking at who bloody did it, but I was just trying to get the tasks done, you know? I've not done one where everyone's... I've done one, where everyone's completed their tasks. We got to the point where somebody kept calling meetings and going, who's finished their tasks? And it was like all of us except 2 people. But one of the people saying they had was lying. So we ended up with a position where the imposter had to stand in the cafeteria with everybody else. And we just let the 2 people who had tasks go in their different directions. And it was a bit boring, if I'm honest, but it was quite funny sitting there watching them go about their tasks while knowing that one of the people I was standing with was definitely the imposter. And there was no way they could kill all of us before we sounded the alarm. I never found out who the bloody imposter was. You'd think it would tell you on the victory screen, but it didn't unless they disconnected or something. It just said victory, and so we never knew who it was, which I guess is a silent win for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it's super fun. Now they can. Yeah, now their tells aren't out there. It's like poker, but with murder poker, and no randomness. It's just fun. If you haven't tried this out yet, folks, it's £4 on Steam. Just go and spend £4 and go and get it.
I might get it on my Mac then, because it might be easier to type bloody messages on my laptop rather than using the phone. It's on everything though, and I don't know if it's cross-play. I should have checked really, but I don't know if we could have played on you on the laptop, me on the phone, or whether that's separated somehow.
I'm investigating now, but I suspect it's not crossplay. You must have played this by now, Pab.
No.
Ow.
Really?
Ow.
I, in fear of sounding like an old fart, I don't really like it. I just
That
don't
means you
get
must
it.
have played it then,
I just
surely.
don't get it. I can't be bothered. I've seen people playing it, and I don't mind watching people play it, but I have no desire to play it myself. I don't know what it is. I just
I thought you were cool, Pab.
I'm too cool for school, me. That's me. I'm the hipster.
Very disappointed in you. Right, before I tease you, well, in fact, no, this is me teasing you. Before I tell you all about the other game I played this week, we're just going to throw over to a little advert. We're getting all professional. It's advert o'clock here at MGP. Go and enjoy some adverts, and we'll be back after these messages. And we're back from our little advert break. I've left a gap there, so Pab's going to have to do some editing anyway.
Thanks.
Thank you. We'll professionalise. Don't worry, I made a note of the timestamp.
I've already done it.
Good boy.
I was sat here thinking we did not prepare that. We didn't even think to Anna could have hit, disconnect. I didn't want to touch anything. Kev
We
was
literally discussed it on Twitter this morning.
You said we need to figure out whether we want to stop it completely or whether we want to just.
Yeah, and then Pab told me what to do, so I did it.
Oh, I didn't see that.
You are a lazy monster. Yeah, good job. Me and Pab are on the ball. That's a week suspension of your share of the ad revenue. You're not getting any.
You only thought about it because I bloody went and did all the legwork figuring it out.
And then decided not to be involved in the implementation. You're a monster. Anyway, I left them on a cliffhanger before the ad break. It was Crusader Kings 3. That was the other game. It was always going to be Crusader Kings 3.
You stole my weekend because I ended up playing this because of you.
Brilliant, isn't it?
It is very good. It's been a long time since playing a game has given me that kind of... You know when you're playing FIFA and then you come off it and you're really angry all the time because FIFA just winds you up? I come off that and was really rude to my wife because she asked me to do something trivial. And I was just like, oh no, she come in and she said... You haven't moved from that sofa in a few hours. And then I just turned it off and I just went in the other room and I come back, she what's wrong with you? And I went, I haven't moved in a few hours. And I just started having a little whinge and then I just stormed up upstairs and I was livid. And then I thought, God, a game hasn't done that to me in ages. But I was so annoyed with her that she dared to call me out. It was like 6 hours that I'd been sat in the same spot. I'd watched like 2 or 3 football matches and just been playing that. But I was also getting frustrated because I'd done the demo, the tutorial, and you'd said like, oh, I'm King of Ireland now. I've done the whole of Ireland. And all I'd done was taken over like one county and it had been... like my first king had died and I was on to the second king and nothing seemed to be going right. The nearest county was just dominating me every time I tried to go to war with them. I went to war with them and then didn't send any men and they just come and they beat my men and
that will
won the
happen.
war. Yeah, because I didn't realise I was supposed to right click and send the army up. Lesson learned. But I just couldn't do it, so I thought, I'll do another. I'll just start again as the main one, and so I tried becoming the guy who was basically the ruler of East Anglia in the 800 BC.
Yeah, I've done that one. I went, right, what's the nearest one to my house?
Yeah. You end up just getting killed by Scotland, the Isle of Man, and someone in Ireland immediately.
Yeah, I didn't last long.
Yeah, so I restarted again. I thought, all these people in Scotland, they're already on their way to deck East Anglia. Maybe if I start as them in that year, I'll just win East Anglia off the bat, and then I can basically play what I wanted to play anyway. And I started that, and all it was there was a big drama that you had to vote for who was going to be king of Alba, or is it Alba or Albion, something like that. But you couldn't vote for yourself, and I couldn't figure it out. And it kept telling me that at some point in the next 10 years, or at some point, this person was going to die who owned one of my counties, but he ruled one of my counties, and I was going to lose the county to his heir. And it was like, well, can I just kill him? Can I marry him to my daughter? And my daughter was like 4, and I thought, no, I'm not marrying a 4-year-old to a man.
Pab, That's not the right attitude. You call yourself a king.
Well, this is the
It's
thing.
only a daughter, for goodness sake. What use is she if you're not using her tactically?
But that's what I kind of realised the game had to be about. You had to be like, well, they're in my way, I need to murder them. Oh, the only way I'm going to get this is if I put my 2-year-old in to marry a 50-year-old. And just insane stuff. I think actually the reason it stopped me... Oh my God, I feel like a monster now. The only reason I didn't actually marry this 4-year-old to an adult was because it came up saying that they were related.
Oh my
That wouldn't
Lord.
stop me. The game I'm playing at the moment, I end up marrying one of my dad's wives
That's disgusting.
because she had such good stats. But that was like 2 generations ago. So now my family tree, I mean, it's a mess. We've got inbreeds everywhere. I've got you have a character come up on the screen. It's like, this is your half brother, cousin, and uncle.
Oh, God.
This is your granddad and cousin, and it's a total mess. It's brilliant, but it had to be done because she was good at teaching kids, and so I could have just had her teaching the kids, but I just wanted more of her offspring. She was one who'd come in quite young when old man Kev was in his 60s and took on a new teenage wife. She was still in her early 20s when he died. It just seemed she was younger than me. There seemed no reason not to marry her.
That's probably happened in a lot of royal families, surely.
Yeah, exactly. But I've got. I'll marry my sister off with my uncle and all sorts, and just it's all about keeping control of the family tree. You got to maintain that control. You got to be ruthless, Sheepdog. And don't worry about the inbreeds. Just murder them.
It also went a bit wrong because they asked me to sort out what type of legacy you wanted to leave, how you wanted people to... You got the choice of how you wanted people to inherit reigns, and I was Googling and reading about the differences, and I don't think I picked... Because there's got to be one where you can give it all to your immediate heir, isn't there?
I've not come across one that works like that.
Because my mate was telling me that it always gets split between all of your children. And I was like, well, why don't I just murder all my other kids then? You know, it's the only other way to keep it going, surely. But
well, the theory is if you're the King of England, but also the Duke of Kent, and also the mayor of a county in Kent, but you've also the Duke of lots of other counties as well. When you die, your heir will become King of England and Duke of Kent, but the Duke of Essex goes to your next son, and then Duke of East Anglia goes to your next son. So you're still their boss. They're all still vassals for you, but all these little mini titles that you also held get spread out, but they all still report into you. So you will still keep the whole of England, but at that point, your brother could come along and say, actually, I think I'm the rightful King of England, and you could go to war with... That's when your civil wars will happen and stuff. So it can get complicated, but then you just murder him in his sleep.
I was going to say, you kill your brother. I tried to kill an Irish fella, and he just survived. I don't know who told him, something like that. It didn't go well. I was pretty sure the fella you take... That was in the tutorial. It's the fella that you take land off at the start of the tutorial. I'm pretty sure he snitched on me. But then he was like... When I asked him about it, he was like, how dare you? I'm like, your oldest mate. And I thought, yeah, but you're the only one who knew that I was going to murder him. So then I just tried again a few years later, and it didn't work. And I thought, God, this man's unkillable. But no, I think I need another 6 hours where I don't get interrupted by my wife telling me I've been sat still too long. And I'll just I get on it. But I mean, she's not here this weekend. I could play it, but I'm going to say...
Don't sleep tonight. Problem solved. It sounds like you're not going to sleep anyway, so you may as well just sit there playing Crusader Kings, and then when I turn up in a wig, you'll just be like, right, Kev, how you doing?
I do feel bad because I was borrowing my sister's laptop, and then my daughter's laptop to play that. I've got your bloody terrible lineage in my head. I was borrowing my daughter's laptop.
My daughter's sister wife's laptop.
And she's like, yeah, I don't mind. And I'm thinking, yeah, but it's not great that I keep just... You're knocking on the door. Can I borrow your laptop again? I want to play a game. I feel like a child. That was another demand why I want a new device. But I'm tempted to just get the old one and play that, because that probably works, doesn't it? That'll probably work on my Mac.
The way it's been explained to me is the old one had a much higher barrier to entry than this one. If you think this one's got a learning curve, don't go near 2, because that's a proper learning curve.
I think you're proving that I understood it. I just didn't have the balls to, murder too many people and didn't really.
Sometimes you've got to kill your brother and marry your sister, Sheepdog. Get over it. Goodness me, grow up.
I think a lot of my first 2 hours, I just didn't realise that I was supposed to physically send my armies into war. If I declared war on someone, I just assumed it.
Stuff like that is a little bit clunky, it's not very well explained in the tutorial.
Because it told me my army was vastly superior to theirs, but I didn't raise mine, so they just turned up and killed everyone and just said, "Yeah, I've beaten you now. Do you want to sit down and shut up?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay, sorry." Doing that several times, I thought, why does my superior army keep failing? And then it completely made sense. I won the next battle, but for some reason didn't get the county then. It was like somebody else I guess their heir took over or something. I don't know. It's a bit weird, but I suppose I should have just kept murdering. There was a baby in charge of a bloody county at one point, and I thought, I just murdered a baby, but it failed. And I thought, how do I fail murdering a baby? Like, what the hell? I sent one of my only assassin in. He just bottled it, I reckon.
Well, it could have been Harry Potter Voldemort situation.
It could have been, couldn't it? Exactly. That kid's probably going to come back in a few years and deck me.
Exactly. So, have me and Sheepdog dominated enough of this podcast yet? We're like nearly 45 minutes in. Are we done, or are you, Anna and Pab, going to say anything?
Yes, can do. Can do. Sorry,
Anna and Pab. Who's the you, Anna and Pab?
I was talking to the listener.
Oh,
the listener, Anna and Pab, as a collective. Me and Sheepdog have left you with 17 minutes. Go.
So I've played nothing.
Excellent.
I'm playing Fall Guys at the moment, and it's very broken. Every time I get eliminated, the game just crashes. And
really?
Every time. So if I qualify, I go through. But if I get eliminated, it just freezes and says next time you log in, you'll get your rewards. But I don't know what's going on with it. If it's just for me or if it's for everyone. But I did put on The Witcher for a few hours, and played the Bloody Baron, and that turned out different than last time. Because I played it before, I played it to completion, did all the messy business with that, and it came with a different ending, and I was very sad about it. I was like, that's not fun. That's not good, because it's not just in where he lives. This goes across the map. This goes everywhere, and you have to go and do multiple missions to finish, because you can't finish that unless you finish this, and it's just it's a big messy thing. Right. But then it ended, and I was like, I remember doing it last time, and there's a bunch of stuff I had to do. This time I didn't do any of it, and it didn't finish what I wanted it to finish, and I was really sad because of just issues. And then I met the most unattractive man. I think that's his name, but his name's
Okay.
He's like this. So I know who he is. I know what he does. You go back to him later in the game. But I played that whole section. So where I meet some witches, and I meet this little thing, and I meet some children, and
the little lad that's lost his voice.
Yeah, he's so sweet.
Yeah,
I love him.
Yep.
I want his.
Maybe he stole Anna's earlier in the week. I went into co-op and Anna had no voice.
Yeah, don't know what happened then. So when was it? Monday. I had some food, and I was being not sick, but I had something stuck, and I was making all them match noises. And I got to work on Tuesday, and I could barely speak. It was just like a squeaky voice. I don't know what was going on. I must have just over.
I come in and went, all right, and you went, oh. like taking a mickey out of me or something. It's really quiet.
I don't know what happened. Literally, woke up I got home and it was fine. I don't know why or what, but
maybe you were just speechless in the presence of greatness.
Maybe, you never know. But yeah, that happened. But I've just been in one of them. I have things to play. I just don't want to play any of them. It's annoying because I've got all these games. I'm fortunate, but I don't want to play any of them because they're not new. They're not the new games I want to play, and I keep reading about and I keep looking at. So that's annoying me. And Fall Guys is very broken at the moment. So I'm in spectator mode because I've been eliminated, and everyone is walking backwards in the next game. This is random. It says error. Failed to receive information about rewards from the server. Any missing rewards should be claimed during next login.
Mm-hmm.
So a little broken. So I might turn that off and listen to what anybody else has got to say. Oh, I did watch the PlayStation thing. That was fun. It was fun for 15 minutes, and then it got on to things like war games, and I kind of lost interest then. And then I saw another game, and I was like, nah. But Spider-Man, definitely wanna get my hands on some of that. That looked excellent, and the Final Fantasy looked excellent, which I was a bit weirded about because it was running on a PC, and I was like, well, why? Why would you have it running on a PC and not on the PlayStation 5? But that was the only game they had on the PC. The rest was apparently captured from PlayStation 5. Yay. So you had Miles, Spider-Man, looked good. There was lots of slinging about and rescuing people. More for that. I don't know what was after that because I didn't make any notes. Can you help a girl out?
I don't. I've given up making notes years ago on these things, if I'm honest with you. We did. What did we see? We saw Demon Souls was there. I was like, okay, if that's how it looks, then great. If that runs and looks like it actually did, because it looked like it just ran and just went, didn't it?
I felt it was very one-hit kills though. It was just it was running through the corridors, hit down, hit down.
And I was thinking, is this a pre-rendered cutscene or something, or is this just in-game? I don't know what it is. This is actual in-game. It's bizarre. But yeah, it seemed interesting. What else was there? There's so many things. I can't remember.
There was that. What's that one where they were killing each other?
Deathloop.
It's like something. Deathloop. That's it.
Deathloop. Where there was Deathloop does look good. To be fair, was that there? Yeah, it was one that way.
Yeah, it was. I watched it back in when they released all the games, and I'm just so not interested in that game whatsoever. Even though I like the is it Bethesda who make them games?
It's the Dishonored people, yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's them.
It looked like your style,
but I have no interest I don't like games where you have to do the same thing over and over and over and over again like that way, because it annoys me. I like a story in the game, and that just looks so annoying, so I don't think I'll be playing.
I'll bring up our Twitter conversation actually, because we were talking on there about each one, weren't we? The three of us,
well, you turned it off when you saw Fortnite, didn't you? That was
well, no, it wasn't because of that. It was because I was watching something on Amazon, and Claire had been waiting for me to finish, and Fortnite came on, and I thought, well, if they're showing Fortnite, they must be done.
I know, it was literally 10 seconds.
Oddworld was the one we both had the same reaction. Don't really get why that's a big thing.
No, I don't. I don't understand. I know who he is and I know what he is, but I don't understand why he's so big and everyone gets a big.
It's fun. It's nostalgia. I think it's nostalgia for me. It was a PS1 game. I think it was a PS1 launch game.
It was a demo, wasn't it? On launch and everything. I remember having a disc with my PS1 that I could play the first 2 levels or whatever.
Yeah.
I played the heck out of them because I didn't have any other games at first, really.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a big nostalgia thing with that one.
They had the Hogwarts game.
Oh, they
Hogwarts
did.
Legacy.
Yeah, that looked good.
Warner Brothers have already said that J.K. Rowling had nothing to do with it.
Of course, it did.
Because she's just gone nuts, hasn't she?
Yeah. That's her.
She yeah, I'm not going to get into it,
No.
but like I really feel like they could just say to her, stop tweeting, stop antagonizing people, even, you know, what she thinks isn't acceptable, but just stop.
And she'll
broadcasting
say,
it.
I don't care, and set fire to another pile of money. It doesn't matter because she's a billionaire.
Well, then she needs to just, I don't know, give up the rights or something. Someone needs to just sort her out, because it's just not nice watching something that is really good. Like, you know, Harry Potter has a lot of mileage in it, and like, I live in a house with two women who love it, so it's like, it's frustrating that this monstrous woman keeps just making it worse. And a game like that, I'm looking at it thinking, wouldn't mind getting that if this billionaire wasn't going to make even more money out of it while she just be's horrible. But I'm not trying to be preachy. I'm just saying, like, it's so frustrating. I wish they'd stop her doing it. But like you say, she doesn't care at this point, does she? She can do what she wants. Black Ops 2, not 2, sorry, Black Ops... Cold War. Black Ops 2. Black Ops Cold War was also mentioned. I found their advert really cringy. The slow down bullet through the back of the head.
Apparently that's what gamers want at the moment.
Knife to the side of the head. I thought these things have been there. Oh, how shocking, how cool things they've done in these games for bloody ages now. The little remote control car I thought was interesting, but I bet that's probably 10 games old now. It was just funny in the advert seeing him just whip out his remote control car and drive it under an aeroplane and blow it up. I was like, okay. But yeah, it just seemed like a bit of a meathead advert. I'm surprised people still care. Devil May Cry was another one. I
Again,
actually said
it's
it seems
remaster.
like they should have stopped them. Sorry?
It's just a rehash of the one that just came out.
It's just basically it's 5 Ultimate,
Yeah,
whatever it is.
I was just going through the list, but I kind of was surprised they still make them. I feel like they ran out of... I think I played the first 2 and then just found it a bit...
Samey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this isn't me trying to be all critical. Like, I didn't actually see much of the Final Fantasy one. I got on just as that was ending. I think you were just talking about it as I'd kind of got onto it. Did they show much of the game, or was it just a video?
Oh, it was just a bunch of pre-rendered videos. It was fine. Like, I was like, what is this? Is it this? Is it this? And then they were talking about crystals. I was like, I know of crystals. I know of a game that looks all fancy. And I was like, I know this. So I was 16, I think it was. It was very strange. It was, I didn't know because it had the...
When did they say it's out?
I think it was 2021. There was no release
Yeah,
there.
if you're lucky.
Just, at some point in the future, this will come
We'll
out.
get to it.
Yeah.
Is that in between the second part of 7? Who knows?
Yeah, you got that as well, haven't you, to get out. So, yeah. That's coming at some point. There you go. That's as much as was released, I believe.
I hope they put more effort into it than... Like, I enjoyed 15, but 16 needs to be all the bits that were missing from 15
I mean,
on
it
top.
looked very 15-like with all the fighting mechanics.
I just like... I mean, it's the same... People keep whinging about the size of the latest, the newest Pokemon generation, and I'm convinced that they were just struggling to get it to the new kind of level, and that the next one will be quite big. And I'm thinking that could be said for 15, going from, you know, I feel like 13 and 15 were quite on the rails, small, you know, limited, but actually they've probably got the scope and the ability now that they could just go back, because all the ones before that were much bigger games, much bigger worlds with much less capabilities, but they just seem to have, I don't know, they just seem to have given up on it, and it seems a bit of a shame, really, because I'd love a 7, an 8, a 9 or a 10 to be kind of brought back. Even a 6. 6 was epic, considering it was done on a cartridge. But these past few have not felt epic, and even though I've enjoyed them, I would tell people to go and play 15, definitely. But I just want 16 to blow me away. I want to turn it on, get 20 hours into it and think, how the heck am I going to complete this? And then carry on anyway, because it was so epic. But It's you could with a Red Dead or other games, you get that. I know it's not the same genre, but you get that. You feel epic in a Red Dead game. So it's insane that games that were epic 20 years ago are suddenly going for half baked. It's really weird. I don't get it. I guess they just can because they got the fan base and it's the 16th sequel of a long time series, so it's going to sell. But for the love of God, come on, give me an epic game.
What else was
Splendid.
there? I think that was about it. And then the prices came out. So there's two. One is...
Pav just went, yeah, I'll have two. For that price,
all right.
I'll have them both.
So the digital one is $449, isn't it? And the digital one is £100 cheaper? Or is it £50 cheaper? I forget.
I tell you one thing I'm shocked about, if I'm honest, that Xbox revealed their pricing and it was the same. I know the cheaper one is £100 less than their cheaper one, but they've basically gone, yeah, we're charging the same for our big one. It's like, really? Surely you need to be £100
Well, they announced their price first, didn't they?
Yeah.
So,
Did they?
Yeah.
like a week before.
I personally saw the Xbox price after. I didn't realise it happened that way around. I only saw Xbox's price today or yesterday.
Wow, Sheepdog. You weren't listening to any of the show last week then, were you? When we discussed
I can't
this.
remember what you said a week ago, Pab. Gordon Bennett. Jesus.
Wow.
But, yeah, I saw the prices and thought, maybe, I mean, okay, they made a mistake announcing theirs first, then, didn't they? Because Sony must have just gone, yep, same.
But it didn't.
Oh, it is the same, isn't it? They're both $499.
No.
No.
Goodness me,
What are you
Sheepdog.
saying?
We're saying that you're wrong.
You used to have a weird dream when you've made up a load of numbers. What?
What are the prices? Tell me the prices.
So the X is $499, and
Right.
the S is $300. Is that right?
And how much is the PlayStation, Pab?
$450 for the one with the disc, and $360 for the digital.
I thought PlayStation was $499.
No, it's $450.
$450.
Yes,
Jesus.
$449.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought they were both $499. Weird. So even then, PlayStation are coming out cheaper. Surely they're going to come
They're
back
not.
with a new price then. Seems a bit odd.
The S is
I
cheaper.
mean, I know we said before that they don't seem to care. They're even telling people not to worry when they were tweeting.
All
and saying,
Microsoft care about is people signing up for their subscriptions. They don't care what box you're playing their subscriptions on.
I was going to say, every response was just get Game Pass on your PC. Don't worry about it, mate. And it's like, wow, you're tweeting this on your Xbox announcement. Don't worry, guys. We get that you want to play with your friends. Just remember to get Game Pass on the PC. It's like, okay, wow, your priorities are big. But surely knocking £100 off their box would have made them sell more boxes, maybe.
But they don't care about the boxes, do they? That's the thing.
Plus, their box is more powerful than the PS5. They can justify it, saying this is how much it costs. This is you paying a premium for the most powerful console on the market. So
they've managed to corner the cheapest one and the most powerful one.
Yep.
And they can just keep going on about Xbox Game Pass, which now also includes EA Play as well. So
But
they've got some
like
good
you,
selling
I was
points.
thinking, yeah, I was just thinking PC.
Yeah, I think that's
Might
what
be the
most people who've got a gaming PC or would be tempted to get one. Microsoft are encouraging you to do that. They like I say, they genuinely don't care if you buy their box or not. They just want you paying them a monthly fee or an annual fee to use their service.
Do you think they're anticipating this being the last gen? I know people ask every time.
I imagine they'll always have boxes that come out so people can have something cheaper than a PC to play them on. But I also wouldn't be at all surprised if this is the generation it's properly on phones. I wouldn't be surprised to see it appear on Switch Game Pass. There's been talk about that before.
no, it's not.
I mean, definitely not.
Spencer already said it ain't going to happen. I'm afraid.
I still wouldn't be
I
surprised.
mean, no, maybe not. It's not happening at the minute. In the distant future, who knows? Who knows?
They're just going to get it out everywhere.
They have made me start hating Apple
Yeah.
because I can't use it on my phone, can I? And I'm just a bit miffed that I could have been playing games on it if it was an Android. It seems really irritating that I just want them to get smashed now in that argument that's going on.
I mean, it's not like Microsoft and Apple to cause problems for each other, is it?
No, I know, but Apple just need to think about what people want, surely. I don't know. It's just, I get it, I suppose, but I don't play any of their stupid arcade stuff. I just get the apps that I get. I was excited at the idea of running my Xbox through my iPad sometimes.
Sounds like you need to get yourself an Android.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying, but I would never have thought that. And every time I touch an Android, it just seems cheap and crap. I don't, I try and use them, but I just don't like the software. And I'm just a bit disappointed that I may have to hold my nose.
With the new iOS, the software is basically identical anyway. My iPhone looks exactly like my Android now. They both are set up almost identically.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it has been a little while. I've used a tablet more recently, but a phone, it's been years, to be fair. And I hated my last Android phone.
It hated you.
I'm not listening to you anymore.
Look, I'm very wise. My advice is always the same. Buy everything.
Your advice has always steered me wrong.
That's because
on tech,
you follow it so far, but don't follow it all the way. When I tell you to buy something, I don't mean only buy that thing. Yeah. I mean, make this one of the many things that you buy, and then you'll be all right.
I mean, you're not wrong. I did think to myself, when I get a PC, I will still use my Mac for all the
I use my Mac all the time.
Yeah.
But I also use my PCs all the time.
Yeah, I could see myself genuinely having a Mac downstairs for when I want to write stuff and do my YouTubey stuff, like when I've got to admin it, I mean, and sitting on my PC actually creating stuff or playing stuff. And that is probably, but you don't make that clear at the time. You're like, yeah, buy this Mac and it'll do everything you want. And then I get it, and you're like, oh no, you need a $3,000 PC too. Don't be an idiot.
I believe at the time, your list of things that you wanted it to do didn't include playing games.
No, you're right. It is true. I didn't like PC gaming then. You need to predict the future, Kev.
My apologies.
Yeah.
Right, Pab.
Yes.
Have you played any games this week?
Yes.
You've got minus 2 minutes if we're going to keep this to a tight hour.
Okay, so what have we got? I'll briefly mention the things I've played. The Avengers. I feel like I'm cooling again. A week after, I'm cooling down on this game again. I've got to a point in the game where it wants me to just grind stuff now and just collect a certain numbers of certain things before I can progress the story. Up to now, I've just been progressing the story and just pushing through, just ignoring all these side quests and anything that requires me to do anything that isn't just the story stuff. And now it's gone. Collect this many of this thing for Tony, and then it's like I've got to collect all these different items, which is basically just doing side quests to collect like machine parts from these robots that you're killing. And yeah, it's fine, but I've lost all momentum to want to do it because I'm just like, I wanted to do the story. I don't want to have to do all this side stuff, and I don't know. I'll get it back. I will get it back, and I'll get back on track with it, and I will finish this run. I get the feeling I'm not a million miles away off the end, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, I've played some of that. The main thing, I'll tell you what. We'll just. I've been playing Breath of the Wild on stream again, and we beat the third Divine Beast today. So we're now three Divine Beasts.
That's how far I got. I never got to the fourth one.
No, I only got to the third one. I only got to the camel last time, and I beat it all today. It was hard work. It's probably the angriest I've ever been on a stream. Honest to God, I didn't know what the boss was. Just that frustrating, and apparently it's the hardest boss in the game, and it's just a pain in the ass. And I was proper sweary Pab on stream, and that doesn't happen very often. And it was just it was proper winding me up, and yeah. So progressing through that, just absolute records, not record speed, because that's not going to happen, but. We are going considerably faster than I had done previously. The other thing I've been playing and have completed a game this week. It's a game called The Suicide of Rachel Foster. And this game is kind of like Firewatch. And is very good. I I noticed someone online mentioning it last week, and I put it on my wish list. And then over the weekend, it went to like 50% off, and it was like £6. And I was like, "Yep, I'm on it straight away." So you start off, and you are the daughter of this guy who cheated on his wife with this high school girl called Rachel Foster, and she apparently killed herself at some point. And you start the game off, basically you are attending his funeral, and you basically inherit his estate, sort of thing. And he has a massive hotel up in the mountains, which then leads you to it's kind of like Gone Home vibe. So you then wander around an empty hotel that has been like derelict for a few years, but you get stuck up there because there's a snowstorm. So you're physically stuck there, and then you're on like a it's kind of like a voice over IP phone that you have, that's there. It's set in the mid-90s, I think. So another thing similar to Gone Home, and yeah. So you have this phone line that connects you to this fella who's basically like he's like, I don't know, I can't think who he is now. He's some sort of services to the hotel, and he has provided services for the hotel for many years, and he's also assisting with like the legal like documentation and dealing with the attorneys and stuff like that to do with the will and what have you. So he's on the phone. So you're constantly talking to this, having a conversation with this guy because you're stuck there. You used to live there as a child. You used to live there as a teenager until you left with your mother. But you've now gone back there, like I say. You're trapped there and you're speaking to this guy. So it's like Gone Home with Firewatch, because like say Firewatch, you have someone on the walkie-talkie. You have someone on the phone all the time. You can speak to them. And yeah, it's very good. It is a walk and talk story beats. I think it'll probably be up your street, Kev. It is.
I was nosing around looking at it on Steam the other day.
Yeah, it is. It's damn good, and it's 4 hours start to end at best. Yeah, a very good story, interesting. How it plays out, and like I say, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's
Interesting.
Yes, interesting, and yeah, it was well worth the whatever it's £6 it cost me. Yeah, that's all I really need to talk about, really, because that's probably the best thing I've played all week.
Excellent. Well, that feels like that brings us to the end of the podcast, which is rather splendid, because it means I can get back to playing Crusader Kings. In the meantime, boys and girls, please make sure you follow us on the Twitter at MGUK Podcast, or of course you can follow me everywhere at Lelujo.
And I'm at RB6K.
I'm at Miss Lelujo.
Anna.
I'm here! I don't know what's happening. Hello?
Hello.
We can hear you.
Hello.
Now.
I'm at Miss Lelujo.
And I'm at Pab1986 on Twitter and Twitch.
Hurrah! We'll say goodbye then, boys and girls. Toodle pip.
Have a good week, folks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening, folks.
Can't believe Sheepdog didn't let me say see you next week, boys and girls. Just jumped in with his nonsense. Ruined it.
I thought you'd said it. Sorry.
No. See you next week, boys and girls!